Good morning. We're in day 3 of our journey towards Jerusalem with Jesus in Luke's travelogue between Luke 9 and 19. We've already seen Jesus resolutely set his face towards Jerusalem, a decision. It's time to fulfill my calling. He begins that journey. We've seen him help others count the cost of the journey. This thing called the Christian life is not a bonbons and swimming pools kind of venture. It is a faith adventure that we follow Jesus towards. Now, we see that he includes us in his work. Luke 10. After this, the Lord appointed 72 others and sent them 2 by 2 ahead of him to every town and place where he was about to go. He told them, "The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. Ask the Lord of the harvest, therefore, to send out workers into his harvest field. Go, I am sending you like lambs among wolves." And then he gives further instructions to these 72. Here's what's interesting. In politics, when a politician is kind of barnstorming through an area, he sends advance teams, or she sends advance teams out. They do the work of preparation so the speaker can come in and rally support and speak and then kind of move on to the next town. It requires a lot of strategy, a lot of planning, a lot of preparation, all for the greater mission of what that politician and what that campaign is supposed to accomplish. Well, we see here that Jesus basically is doing the same thing. He knows he's going to Jerusalem. He knows why he's going there. He knows what's going to greet him there. And he is sending out 2 by 2, 36 teams of people, disciples, more than just the 12. Remember, there's a large crowd that's accompanying him towards Jerusalem. And he's going to send them to preach the gospel, to share good news, to bring peace, to prepare the people's hearts so that when Jesus arrives at that town, he can preach the good news of the kingdom of God. We have to understand that Jesus' strategy was more than just kind of healing from town to town or sharing stories and then eventually getting the cross. He was preparing the ground, all of Israel and all of these disciples, for what would come after his ascension. The seeds of the gospel, the seeds of the kingdom are going to be sown in. What's interesting here is that Jesus already shows his hand. There's going to be a greater plan where he selects co-laborers and they go out with his message. What I love about this is that those co-laborers in this passage get to learn is that the Father is already there ahead of them. And he's prepared the harvest. He's prepared hearts. The seeds of the gospel are going to meet fertile soil. And so all the harvesters have to do is bring in the harvest of what God has already been doing. So Jesus says, pray for more workers because the harvest is plentiful. This makes me think about our current time in history. It seems like really dark days. It seems like the culture is getting more secular, more less religious, less open to the gospel, like our job's harder. Except for if we realize nothing's different. The Father is already out there by the Spirit drawing people to himself. He's already laid the groundwork. He's already prepared hearts. He's looking for workers to go into his harvest field and to do just simply the work that Jesus taught them to do. Share the good news, embody the truth, and then speak the truth in love and see what God will do. It makes me think about the fact that our workplaces, our schools, our neighborhoods, there are people already there the Spirit's working on. He's already ahead of us. He's already prepared the harvest. We just need to be prepared to be his co-laborers in the field. I hope that maybe this passage will help us think differently about the context we enter this morning, today. When we go out, quote unquote, into the world, we go out into a world in which God has already begun to do the work of bringing in the harvest, a gospel harvest, and we get to join him in that work. Grace and peace to you today.